Sacinandana Shila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Sila Prabhupada ki Anand Koti Vaishnava ki ISKCON founder Acharya Shila Prabhupada ki Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Gora all glories to the Assembly. All glories to the Assembly. Glories to the Assembly. All glories to CC Guru and Shri. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are having today a verse from the 12th canto of the Bhagavatam. Kale dosha nide raja. Asti eko mahatguna. Yetana deva krishnasya. Mukta sangha param raje. Kale doshini de raja. Asti eko mahan guna. Mahanguna
Asti Eko Mahanguna
Kirtana Deva Krishnasya
Kirtanadeva Krishnasya
Mukta Sangha Param Braje
Mukta Sangha Param Braje
Kirtana Deva Krishnasya
Kirtanadeva Krishnasya
Kale Doshe Nide Raja
Kale Dosha Nide Raja
Asti Eko Mahanguna
Asti Eko Mahanguna
Kirtana Deva Krishnasya
Kirtanadeva Krishnasya
Mukta Sangha Param Braje
Mukta Sangha Param Braje.
Please.
Kale Dosha Nide Rajan
Kale Dosha Nide Rajan
Asti Eko Mahanguna
Asti Eko Mahanguna
Kirtanadeva Krishnasya
Kirtanadeva Krishnasya
Mukta Sangha Param Braje
Mukta Sangha Param Braje.
Kale Dosha Nide Rajan
Kale Dosha Nide Rajan
Asti Eko Mahanguna
Asti Eko Mahanguna
Kirtanadeva Krishnasya
Kirtanadeva Krishnasya
Mukta Sangha Param Braje
Mukta Sangha Param Braje.
Kale Dosha Nide Rajan
Kale Dosha Nide Rajan Asti Eko Mahanguna Kirtanadeva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Braje.
Matasis, please.
Kale Dosha Nide Rajan
Kale Dosha Nide Rajan
Asti Eko Mahanguna
Asti Eko Mahanguna
Kirtanadeva Krishnasya
Kirtanadeva Krishnasya
Mukta Sangha Param Braje
Mukta Sangha Param Braje.
Alehe. Of the age of Kali. Doshani Dehe. In the ocean of faults. Raja. O king. Asti. There is. He. Certainly. Ekaha. One. Maha. Very great. Gunaha. Good quality. Kirtana. By chanting. Eva. Certainly. Krishnasya. Of the holy name of Krishna. Mukta Sangha. Liberated from material bondage. Param. To the transcendental spiritual kingdom. Braje. One can go. Translation. Just to give you a little context, these are the final instructions of Shukadev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. And it's very interesting that at the end of the Bhagavatam, just moments or hours before Parikshit Maharaj will leave this world, Shukadev Goswami gives him really the essential message of the Bhagavatam, so that he can be promoted to the transcendental kingdom of God. Shukadev wants to make sure that his disciple Parikshit Maharaj understands very good. And these final instructions, a final message, of final lessons, of final words are really the most important point of the Bible. If you are a reader of transcendental literature, I would really want to point you to that part of the Bhagavatam. It starts really with it's the whole 12th canto, but in particular chapter 2 to chapter 5. That is very useful. And the middle of chapter 6. So here we go. My dear King, my dragi kralj, although Kali Yuga is a wonderful place to stay. Oh, you are listening. Good. I was testing you. My dear King, although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, there is still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. There is a purport by the servants of Srila Prabhupada, which Prabhupada will make visible here. Yes. After mentioning the innumerable faults of this age of Kali, Shukadev Goswami now mentions its one brilliant aspect. Just as one powerful king can kill innumerable thieves, one brilliant spiritual quality can destroy all the contamination of this age. It is impossible to overestimate the importance of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The sentences, it's impossible to overestimate the importance of chanting Hare Krishna, especially in this fallen age. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gora Adi Prasharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Prasatya Deshatayane Joy Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gora Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Before starting to speak, I would request all of you to be attentive, because I will cover a few subjects, and I will request our kitchen for the full cooperation by cutting the vegetables, not like you go to war with your knives, but in a soft and inaudible way. It's for me a great honor to speak before my exalted God brothers, His Holiness Radhananda Maharaj and Dhammakanana Maharaj and our Kajangari Prabhu. I have a little an intense style, so if it gets intense, please don't connect that to you and your spiritual practice. In a spiritual life, we need to understand many things, but there is a very important trio, 3 points, which are sadhya, the goal, where we want to go; sadhana, the practice which will bring us there, it's like the way to the goal; and the sadhu, a saintly person who instructs us in both these subjects, the goal of spiritual practice and the way, the path. Now, if you go somewhere, but you have no clear conception where this is, where you are going, where you want to go, you will most probably not reach there. Going somewhere is never an automatic process, but it is a conscious effort where one knows exactly about the roads and about the mistakes one can make, and so on. Now, if you go somewhere, let us stay a little with the example, and you need to look for signs if you are actually going there. Let me say, if I want to go back to Sarajevo, and the streets and the towns which show up are Novi Sad, Subotica, after some time, 6 hours, Budapest. I know from the signs that most probably I'm on the wrong way with something. I want to go to Sarajevo, but look at what comes up on the way. It's not what should come up. So when you have your knowledge about sadhya, where you want to go, and you find out, oh my God, I'm getting more attached to the material world, I'm becoming an older devotee, but my ego seems to have grown very much over the last years. You know, you have chosen the right goal, and you are to be congratulated for this. But you are not on the right path, because somehow the signs show that you are going north and not south. You're going where it's cold, where Maya is, the lands of Maya. You are not going where you're supposed to come. That is closer to Krishna consciousness. This is important for you. If you want to go, then you need to go. Okay, what is the goal of my practice? What are symptoms which are showing that I'm on the right path? And what is the right path? And how to do the right path? We had a stunning realization which was which was put in the internet. By Krishna's mercy, it was not my realization. But there was a kirtan course in Radhadesh, and the college director, or the college people who had organized this course, said, ISKCON is now 50 years old, and it speaks a lot about Krishna. And there is a lot of instructions about Krishna, the goal of our practice. Or Krishna Prema, you hear it, yes, you hear it many times. But this is the first time after 50 years that systematic instructions on how to go there is given in forms of a course. There are many seminars, many things you can learn. But it seems that now, not only in Radhadesh, everywhere these courses are offered. Now some understanding is, wow, maybe we need to know about the way how to reach to our goal, and we need to learn that in a systematic way, because maybe we have not yet reached our goals. There is not enough spiritual satisfaction in our movement, maybe, and maybe we now need to know how to apply this for maximum benefit. That was stated by some. I thought it was a very too harsh and too critical of a statement, and it was flowing all over the internet, and there was a lot of bravo, 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 and a lot of just what happens in societies, discussions about positive, negative, everything in between, like it is normal for human beings. So you need to ask the question in your life, what is the best type of way which can bring me to my goal, and how do I practice this? How do I do this? How do I do this? This verse, very important verse, says that that really this age of Kali is terrible for spiritual life. It has a lot of mistakes in it, but there is still one good quality. And all these problems which Kali Yuga throws at us can be solved by this one good quality. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur uses the example of the king. This has made its way into our purpose by Krishna's mercy. The king is, if there is a good king, then in a kingdom there can be many disturbances created by thieves and rogues and so on. But the king immediately is in the position to display full justice and take care of all the problems which are brought to his attention. Immediately. It's immediately solved. There was no long discussions in judicial forums and so on, where you had to wait for many years until justice was spoken. No, the king, the Raja Rishi, immediately took care of the problem according to the advices of saintly people and of scriptures and Krishna's desire. So it was, although there were also problems in Vedic times created by Asuric people and so on, it was because there was a king whom one could take shelter with when there was a problem. The problem could be easily and quickly solved. So this is the analogy which is given to us, that although in Kali Yuga there are many, many problems, but there is this one good quality which is like a king. It takes care of everything. In what way in particular does Shukadev Goswami say that this good thing, this kirtan, takes care of everything? Well, there are two symptoms given. Mukta Sangha, you become free from these things which you have developed in association with the material energy, and Param Brajet. This is, you will go to the highest goal, Krishna Prema. And those who are Braj lovers, they will say Braj, 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 but others will contest this interpretation. That is besides the point. The point here is one can develop the highest reaches of one sadhana. This is how the good quality, which is like a king and which can protect us against all these bad things which are going on, works. He liberates us from the misery which come due to wrong association with the material energy, and Parambrajet, he uplifts us to the highest spiritual goal. Now, the way the Lord has given, the way this sadhana is, that it is different from all other sadhanas. There are many sadhanas or practices, like performing yajnas, is a very developed sadhana in the Vedic way, and there is visiting, or Tirtha Yatra, visiting holy places of pilgrimages, and taking sacred baths there, and giving ample donations to saintly people. There is Dana, this is donations of different types. There are many practices, a whole list you can find in the Vedic scriptures. But Kirtan stands out from all these practices by one very distinguishing quality, which is pointed out by Haridas Thakur in Harinam Chintamani and commented upon by Bhaktivinoda Thakur and also Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Our Harinam Yajna yesterday worked. The Kirtan of the devotees has brought sufficient rain, and there will be a time when we beg that it stops. Does any one of you have a clue? I absolutely didn't have a clue before I read this. Why we can say that Kirtan is different from all other sadhanas. Sadhanas, again, is an upaya or a means which will bring you, when you apply it properly, you need to know how to do it, to your goal. Why is it different? Maybe, yes.
The Lord Chaitanya said it can be practiced anywhere at any time.
It can. There is a big distinguishing feature. Thank you, Maharaj. I didn't think of this, but it's... Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, this sadhana can be practiced anywhere and at any time, practically.
No rules and regulations.
There are no rules and regulations which accompany all the other sadhanas, where you really have to learn. I mean, to do karma, kanda, or dhyana, these austerities. You have to be a pandit to learn how to do it properly. Thank you very much. I didn't think of this. Sure. This is an enlightening moment for me. Yes, anywhere and at any time, under all conditions it can be done. This cannot be said about other practices. Yes. We will continue this sadhana also when we have obtained the goal. Wonderful. We will not dispose of it. That, okay, this brought me to my goal, now this is no longer required, I have reached. Thank you, goodbye. Yes.
It is mean and goal at the same time.
Oh, it's God, we have such good answers this morning. It's an enlightening Sangha. It is at the same time both the means and the goal. This is the distinguishing feature which is mentioned in Harinam Chintamani, and it is taken up by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And I'd like to say 2 sentences or 3 about it. See, chanting is already Krishna. Krishna is Vinadvam Nama Namino, not different from his name. And as we are applying this process properly, we will see, as we chant the holy name, Prabhupada mentions this in many lectures, the form will become revealed to us of Krishna, his qualities and the pastimes. The name, so to say, is in the goal. This you cannot say about any religion, any sadhana, and not about any religion. That the way is the goal. It's a new age slang also, but they don't. They have not studied probably. What this. It sounds nice, but any other.
Slatko se može uključiti.
So slatko.
Anyone can take part in it.
Anyone can take part.
Not sweet, yes. That's obviously I misunderstood, yes. Sorry, I should not pretend I know anything of the language. Anyone can take part. It's for the highest people and for the lowest people. Wow, really? I only knew one thing, and you know so much. You should all sit here and talk. Because no one in the Hare Krishna movement believes that the name is identical with God. I'm getting now a little intense. It's fasten your seatbelts. We chant we have all types of varieties of chanting. And I would love to now tell you something which I learned about this in one book from a scholar on the holy name called Chintamani. It is, he quotes from one Shastra, a beautiful story about how the name is identical with Krishna himself. This is a concept which at least does not fit into the material logic, because we have no experience in this world how a name is identical with the subject. Of course, there is a psychological process where you call out a name and there is something which you call in psychology association. I will do this for you, for this sleepy one. Just see what happens to you now, where I will say something. Pizza. Ice cream. Sciatic pain, strong. Immediately when we hear these words, I mean, you are young people, you don't know what is sciatic pain. Immediately as we hear something, our mind makes an association. And for instance, when we see pizza, we see one very tasty dish which gives satisfaction to our mind and also to our body when we take it, and so on. So we associate something with the word, but by no means is the word pizza identical with the substance. If it would be, we could save a lot of Lakshmi. It's very different from it, very different. But Krishna, this is the claim in Padma Purana, is Krishna. The name is Krishna. So I will give you an example which helped me very much to try to get an idea of what this could mean. There was once a very poor girl. She did not know who her father and mother was. She lived in a desolate cottage in the forest. Her only friend was a bird and a deer. Now, over the 8 rivers and beyond the 3 oceans, there was a very, very good-hearted prince. He was ruling his country with fairness according to the rules of Dharma. He lived in a very opulent kingdom where those who lived were extremely content and satisfied. And one day, the girl, she was living far away, was living a poor, neglected life. One day, the bird, the only real friend, was a speaking bird, flew away and didn't return for 3 months. After 3 months, the bird came back with news of the prince. And the bird, it was a speaking bird, talked to the girl. Oh, this prince is so good. He is very handsomely looking, but his qualities inside are so beautiful. And he is so just and so fair-minded, and everyone is so satisfied with him. And as the girl heard about the prince, she developed a great desire to see him. Now one day, there was a knocking at the door of her cottage, and when she opened, she saw a very, very well-dressed man with a turban and a beautiful feather. And the man introduced himself to the girl, who was very surprised. He said, I'm a missionary. Do you know what is a missionary in Serbian language? A messenger. Yes, messenger. Of the prince who lives beyond the 8 rivers and the 3 oceans. He wants to see you. Please come along. What, said the girl? He cares for me? He knows about me? Yes. That's why I found you here. He told me exactly where to go. And the messenger said the name of that girl. She had no wealth to leave. She immediately said, when can we go? The messenger said, tomorrow. Okay, so they went. They crossed the 8 rivers and the 3. And when they came to the oceans, there was a wonderful boat. And they crossed the boat, singing many things. And they came closer to the kingdom. Now, as they were journeying, something happened to the girl which created a grave problem in her mind. She felt how her feelings developed for this messenger. It were first feelings of great gratitude that he had brought her all this way. But as the feelings of great gratitude increased, she noticed that she was becoming very attached to the company of the messenger. And she thought, oh no, what an ungrateful wretch I am. Now I understand why it says, never trust a woman. I can't trust myself even. The good prince does all the arrangements to bring me. However, I have become just like a low-class person, attracted to someone else. I'm highly disappointed in myself. But what to do? This is the state of my consciousness at the moment. As they were coming closer to the palace and then saw the palace in the distance, she felt a profound sense of guilt. It was not just guilt like when someone throws a guilt trip on you. I learned a new way of saying something. Apparently, it makes you feel guilty. This is what it means. No, it was a guilt feeling which came deep from inside, which was not caused by anyone outside. And this type of guilt eats you alive. The messenger brought her finally in the palace. Everyone, he was really known it. He said, I have to go now. I will inform the prince. Someone will be sent and you will be ushered into his presence. And the girl said, is it true that all love is destroyed? Do you really have to leave me? And the messenger looked at her, and there seemed to be a feeling of joy in his eyes. And the girl felt terrible. The messenger did not answer anything. He said nothing, just went. After all, he was the messenger, at least to our knowledge, and he could not respond to this proposal. So the girl was brought in. She came crying and sobbing into the the hall where you can see the king and the prince. And she did not even dare to look in his direction. Finally, she heard a deep resonating voice, look at me. And as she looked towards the throne, she could see that on the throne was the messenger. You know everything. This is a story which tells us, in the beginning, we may see the holy name as something, and a name, something which goes well with any rock and roll melody which you choose, or any melody which you choose by this cultural condition. Something which is a good way to relieve ourselves. We have a certain understanding about the holy name according to the way we have Shraddha and our present state and spiritual life is. But as we go on, we will cross finally the three oceans, the three gunas of material nature, which inflict these different types of shraddhas and on us. And we will come to a level where we are actually able to see that the name and the messenger is identical with Krishna. Would you like that this happens in your life?
Yes.
I don't believe you. I read in Bhagavatam that only very few people actually want to go back home, back to Godhead. I think you need to look a little bit more in your heart before you say such a half-hearted yes. You need to really study yourself a little bit and connect with that feeling of eagerness, lolyam or hankering in your heart, so that you can actually say a resonating yes. that you one day you will want to meet the Lord. So, let us ask now a question. How is the sadhana of Kirtanat Eva Krishnasya to be performed for best results? I'm asking you. I think you have many good answers. Can you just do it in any way, or did it work in any way, or is there a better way which will help you to reach better results? Yes?
Humility, joy, and happiness.
With humility, joy, and happiness, we should end. Without material desires. Oops. That is not entirely true. We can enter everywhere, anywhere, but of course, you're speaking now of higher levels. What it says is we must give up the attachments of I and mine, and when you do this, the material desires go, because you think this is it's not me who desires this. You cannot commit sins. Yes, Maharaj.
Chant with attention and feeling.
We should chant with attention and feeling. How wonderful your answers.
Slijediti s poštovanjem i poniznošću iskustva onih koji su već imaju to iskustvo.
To follow with respect and humility those who have that experience.
Yes, please speak. Please, yes, I see you will just, I can't see, I think you're the wife of your husband, I mean, okay, yes, please.
We should chant with great faith, even if we don't feel something, if we don't feel anything. We should chant with faith, knowing that one day, this day will come when we feel that the name is the same with Krishna.
We should chant with great faith, even though we may not believe it, or we don't experience it. It's very interesting. Haridas Thakur says that Shraddha, that is faith, is the entry point into chanting. And there was once a discussion. One Krishnadas went to Mahaprabhu on the beach of the Puri and said, I see that some of your devotees make so much advancement, whereas others seem to not make so much advancement. What is the reason? And Mahaprabhu answered, faith. When it is big, it goes faster. When it is small, it goes slower, but it goes also. More answers or? Yes, Mataji? Yes.
With understanding of our position in Sambandha.
With our understanding of our position. Now we hear those who have read Harinam Chintamani. Yes, that is Sambandha. That may be, that is a big concept. I will not comment on this right now. Yes. Yes.
Chanting Trinarapi Sudhita.
Chanting the Trinarapi Sudhita. I want to ask Kadamba Kanana Maharaj if he could contribute, because we all agree we live by his kirtans, and there's a new CD, Heart and Soul. What would you say, or any tip you could give? What do you apply? Not at this moment. Yes, not at this moment. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says we should become expert in, there's a statement in Amnaya Sutras, book of his, where he says expertise means to chant base or without offenses, the 10 offenses. That is the first consideration, because see, we do have a problem when we chant. The problem is we don't recognize the messenger. We don't recognize the name as Krishna. We chant in all types of inattentive and even protestful ways, and some of us don't chant the 16 rounds any longer. We have put this aside because we didn't feel the result coming. So that is our problem here, is really we can't recognize Krishna in the form of his holy name as being Krishna. For us it is just a name. It's like now, now there is a wonderful sun here over Fruska Goranga. It's so beautiful. Do you see it? No, why not? Because there are clouds and there is even mist. If you look, there's fog. It will get serious, I can already tell you. You will all feel very happy in the Kirtan program today. It is an order together. It is prayed for. No, I'm joking. Because there's something between us and the sun. We can't see it at the moment. In the same way, because there is ignorance, avidya, and anatas and aparadas and something else, I just forgot. Between us and Krishna, we can't, and the holy name, between us and the holy name, we can't feel joy when we chant. We can't feel faith becoming stronger. We need to really get rid of the clouds and the fogs. For the fog is ignorance of our real position. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says it's 4 points. You don't know who you are. You don't know who is Krishna. You don't know the right means how to attain him. And something else which I forgot. Then it's the anatas. There are 3 types of anatas. Vidas, material attachments to very insignificant things. There is aparadas, and the weakness of our heart. We are so weak when it comes to follow. To even give up the first shadows of the false ego is sometimes difficult for us. And then there are clouds between us. We are in the mist, we are in the fog, we are in the clouds, and therefore we can't recognize Krishna in the form of his holy name. Like the girl could not recognize that this is actually the benevolent prince who had come to her in her miserable little cottage in that forest, and had brought her on a most amazing journey to the kingdom of his kingdom. The girl couldn't see at first, but as a relationship developed, she actually became quite attached and developed her feelings and great attention to that personality. So, can any one of you say what is the root problem of all these 10 offenses? Yes. It is inattentiveness. Inattentiveness comes out of our false ego, where we see ourselves as not as part and parcels of Krishna, and we put our priorities for enjoying our ego position in this world. And then we are just inattentive to Krishna. This is described in Harinam Chintamani that inattention is, you may chant for many years, but if you can't cure this problem, inattention, you will commit the offenses and you will remain in the fog, in the clouds. This will be like an analogy of your spiritual life, depressing, cold, whatever you interpret rain to be like. You will be busy closing windows of your life so that the misery is not so bad, doesn't get you so strong, and all your energy is spent manipulating the material world for maximum comfort around you, because you just can't see the light of spiritual life. Inattention. Now, how many of you, this I will not ask, I will say now something personal. Do you know what inattention is, or are you very attentive? Inattention is a big problem. Very big problem. Yesterday I had someone who said to me, I want to be initiated in ISKCON, but I can't see how I will chant 16 rounds. The older devotees are not doing it. How will I do it? I look at the camp. I can see what is going on. I am a student of psychology. It's very easy to see. How will I give this promise 16 rounds without failure every day, best in one sitting? Who is doing it? Yes, we do our 16 rounds, but look yourself on your 16 rounds. Are they attentive? What is the quality? I mean, if you like to ask those questions, you will get answers. Maybe I should not ask these questions. Now, he said, how? I don't want to be a pretender. Pretend something. I'm not different. I'm a normal person. You know. So, can you help me? He said, I struggle with inattention also. It's not easy. But when you set the right priorities, that you want to get to your sadhya, your spiritual goal, then you will do this. For instance, I want to give you an example. I tried to come to Serbia on an airplane called Air Serbia, and I already felt something. This will be an adventure. Air Serbia sounds already like the country. So I went and we Brussels on the plane, and just as we were trying to take off, something was falling out of the motor. And the captain said, we can't go. But he only said this after 2 hours, because it's Air Serbia. We had to stay in the thing, and we didn't know what was happening. Then we all had to leave the plane with all our luggage, even the overweight, which we had somehow put there by using all our German intelligence, without having to pay extra. And we had to wait another, and they said the Lufthansa technicians from Germany are repairing our plane. Just wait, be patient. We waited for another. Then we went back into the plane, and the foolish plane starts again. And again the same thing happens. Male techniczka problemski, nie ma problema. And it's the biggest problem. Which is there. Then finally at 3 o'clock we get into the hotel, and I was weak with my nerves due to several reasons. And I thought, do I really have to do this? I can just call Radhadesh. They will come. They will pick me up, and in no time I'm back in Germany and can take care of her minor telotskopy problema. then I said, why do you want to go to Serbia, Sacinandana Swami? You have a good excuse not to go now. And then the answer no, I want to see all these devotees. I grew up with them in Krishna consciousness. They are my people. They are my friends. I want to go to them. But then the next problem was, to go, I had to go to bed 3:30 in the hotel, then rise at 5:30. Now those who are my critics know that I'm very bad in rising in the morning. I have a body clock which is not good. It's very difficult for me to rise. I'm sleeping best at that time. This is a physical thing. Low blood pressure. There's physical explanations, but no excuse, obviously. So then I said to the man on the hotel, I need to go to Serbia. You have to wake me up. I can't take this responsibility. 2.5 hours and I'm tired like a dog. You have to wake me up. He says, sir, we don't have the service here at the moment. How much money do you want? I asked him. It's not about money. I'm out of station, Think a little. I must catch that plane. Nothing we can do for you, sir. The man from Brussels, no feelings in his heart. Then I said something. Going to Serbia is for me a priority in my life. I must go. And I put my alarm clock on, but I knew I wouldn't hear it. Because I don't hear alarm clocks when I have 2.5 hours sleep. But I said in my heart, so, I really want to go. I have to see Madhva Muni, I have to see Shriji, I have to see Bahulashwa, I have to see Kadamba Kanana Maharaj and listen to his original classes with new points which I didn't know. I have to be in Prahladananda Maharaj's class and feel enlightenment. And the Ratha Yatra, wow. We were always dreaming to do this in Serbia. Now it's possible, and so on. Dobro. And do you know what happened? 20 minutes before I had to get up. There is an inner alarm clock. I hear. I don't remember what it was, but I wake up. Look at the clock and say, "My God, I'm awake!" Very good. I hadn't planned to take a shower. I wanted to. I had put the alarm clock really up to the last possible minute, and so on. But now I can even take a shower. Very good. I went into the shower, came out like a young demigod, and went to Serbia. Why? This unusual behavior of a notorious sleeper. I had a priority in my heart, and I felt for this priority. It was important to me. If you have a priority to go to Krishna, you will chant 60 rounds. You will chant more, or I will want more, with attention. Because it's yours. You want to do it. Now, to create this sense of priority, you must really hear about Krishna. That Krishna is wonderful. That his kingdom is better than what you find in the kingdom of Maya. You must hear Krishna Katha, Krishna book. You must learn about the spiritual world. You must learn more about Krishna, so that in your heart springs up a priority. This priority, my dear devotees, is not something you can maintain by force or priorities are not something which you maintain just by intellectual understanding or because someone tortures you that you need to do it. It is something which you understand yourself. It's your priority in life, your full responsibility. So therefore it is very important. Like no one forced me to come to Serbia. In fact, because of the shoulder, I wanted to prove out, I don't know if this is a good English, but I wanted to, my mind for a moment considered, why not go the simple way, the easy way. But then I understood my priorities here, my reasons here, and then it worked. This is not something impractical, something beyond our head. You all have priorities and you will make sure you fulfill them. Like eating will be no problem, you will show up at the right time. There are a few priorities. When it's a priority, you will do it no matter what. It's not even strenuous. So therefore, my dear devotees, I would like to end this. No, I don't want to end yet. I want to just say this inattention, which is proclaimed by our GBC as the, I don't want to just say it like this, by a very, very senior and very advanced member of our society who takes also responsibility for spreading Prabhupada's movement. This inattention, which is there, it's in the Harinam Chintamani. There's a news you need to know about this. Haridas Thakur says, simply by one's own endeavor, no one in this world can overcome distractedness. Distracted is another word for inattention. Such victory can only come about by your merciful blessings, my Lord. Therefore, it is absolutely necessary to beg for your grace. If you want to make your chanting proper, you need to actually beg for Krishna's mercy. And we have a lot of opportunity today. It's, I think Madhva Muni will explain how the day will progress. If we can just inform him. I saw him a little while ago. He must be somewhere in the atmosphere. Jai Go Jagannath, would you be so kind to find Madhva Muni and inform him that we need this, because we have a special idea how to do this. But today you have the chance to really work on your kirtan, on your chanting of the holy name. Today you also have the chance to beg the Lord to help you gain victory over the distractedness of our mind, which is there since a long, long time, because we have turned away from Krishna. This Bhavyamukha, or external facing, is the symptoms of the conditioned soul. It's not a small problem, it's a big problem. It's the reason why we are here, this in being inattentive to Krishna. So we need to beg for this one, for the Lord's mercy. Then only it is possible that we can apply this. Good. I thank you very much. I beg your forgiveness for talking sometimes a little uncomfortable. I really want to say, I don't feel happy doing this, but I think you will otherwise do what, if I would ask you now to give me a summary of Praladananda Maharaj's brilliant class yesterday, I don't know how well you would do, because we have overdoses in information and we don't hold these things very deeply. And therefore I'm trying to give a little strong presentation, but I really hope this works for you. if you forget everything from this lecture, remember this one point. Beg for the mercy to be allowed to chant the holy name. That will be better if you remember this. Good. So there, I want to see now what is the time first of all.